Here to keep the chase going, share information, spread unity, preserve our heritage and our culture. We're trying to achieve something that you just can't catch. We're always trying to find a better way, trying to make better dogs. That's what Dixie Doggers Podcast is. That's who we are.
This episode is brought to you by Rankin Ranch 38 Cattle Company. Marc Rankin specializes in Brahma and Brahma Cross cattle in Oglethorpe County, Georgia. You can contact him at 407-832-2077. 407-832-2077. This episode is also brought to you by Phil Wilson of UC Hunting Properties. If you're buying or selling land, farms, or hunting property, these folks know land. You can contact him at 678-791-3483, 678-791-3483, or visit his website down below in the description.
All right, everybody. Here one more time. We are still alive. Still alive. After the inauguration, I'm surprised that we're still alive, but everything's going good. Everything's going good for me. All right, so we got the Dixie Dogger Podcast back here one more time. Me and Nate, we downtown in the backyard is where we're at. We're not going to lie to you. We're in the backyard. So we have had some of the craziest weather that you've ever seen. And I heard down like Louisiana, Florida, all them places, they got like a damn foot of snow.
Yeah, we were supposed to get it, and
I don't want none.
Yeah.
They can keep that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
We've had them Louisiana boys come up last week, or week before last, they brought snow with us, and they laughed at us, and then their ass went home, and guess what? 7 inches of snow. So we got a guest with us tonight, y'all. Adam Vu, and he is I'm gonna let him tell y'all about himself and what he does and what their deal is. So Adam, how you doing tonight, brother?
Man, I'm doing great.
Good deal. Tell everybody who you are and what you about and what's happening.
Yeah, so I'm Adam Vu, and I also hunt hogs or dogs, but I guess the main thing that separates what I do from most people here in America is I use the West Siberian Laikas and just on hogs, not squirrels or anything else like that. But yeah, through that I now co-own Bayou Outlaws Kennel with my buddy Dominic Brown, and I co-host the podcast now, Nordic Tales and American Trails, with my buddy Eric Rodin, who is actually in Sweden.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's kind of what I've ventured into through these dogs, you know.
So what made you get into the Laikas? What made you decide to run with them?
Man, so I hunted with squirrel dogs since I was about 14, and I had a Laika that I was using just for squirrels. I used to hog hunt with my buddy David, and he had blackmouth curs, and it was fun and all. You guys know Larry Parker as well?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine as well. So I've been around the hog hunting a lot, but I wouldn't say, just because 90% of the time I hunt by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it was about 2019 when I was squirrel hunting with my Laika, and she just, I think the population started growing as well, just moving into some of the squirrel spots, and she just started baying. And something that you'll hear within like the Ukrainian community of Laikas is, if you don't want your dog to hunt it, if you don't want a Laika to hunt it, don't shoot it. Because once you shoot something out to it, it's over with. You know, that's what they're going after. So I never really thought of it as a possibility, solo hunting, that I can really hog hunt the way these other guys were, you know, having multiple dogs and wild hauling a bulldog and trying to tie it by myself, stuff like that, you know. And it kind of opened my eyes to that possibility. So I started doing research, and then through my research, I found like a bunch of guys out in like Sweden, Norway, and to them, the way to boar hunt is to use one Laika, and that's it, you know, bay and shoot like that. So that's kind of what made me go along that path. But I mean, through that, I had my partner Dominic Brown, and I still use cur dogs, so we kind of have like a separate little thing. So now, if I hunt by myself, I'm able to take my Laika and have success. And when I hunt with Dom, we can take the pack of cur dogs and go catch some hawks, you know. Mm-hmm. Whereas like by myself, I'm just shooting And
Yeah,
if we take the cur dogs, we'll catch.
that's cool. Yeah, that's like I
Yeah,
said,
man. Yeah.
that's something different, and that goes to show how versatile that breed is as well.
Mhm.
I've heard a lot about the breed over the years, and like I said, I've always been really curious of it. That's one of the very few that I haven't owned, and I like the whole thing, like you're talking about, just having a single dog on the ground and being able to do that. It seems
Yeah.
like we used to do a lot of one dog on the ground, and once it would get the hog struck or even start baying, sometimes we'd send another dog in there, and work it like that. But generally, like you said, in hog hunting, there's usually several dogs on the ground,
Mhm.
and
Yes, sir.
everybody's different. They'll run two dogs or five or six or whatever. But have you run the Lycas in a pack at all?
So we're kind of messing with it right now because I do have a pup off of one of my previous dogs that she's actually not mine, but she's sort of part of our kennel just with one of our buddies.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And she's I'm trying to figure out, she's still young, so she's barely green, but she's got that speed that I'm looking for. So I'm trying to see where she can benefit in that pack,
Mm-hmm.
where she can use her attributes like that speed. And the thing I'm liking so far about the Lycas more than anything is that back end bite that they have is like horrific. So I mean, every hog I kill to my Leica, the back end, I got to cut out so much meat just from him tearing up the backside to make him stop.
Yeah,
So
they're putting the heat on them. I got you.
yeah, it's that shutdown power that I'm hoping she can add to some of that cur dog pack that we have. Um, Especially, and it's not that they can't do it themselves because they do a great job, but our blackmouth cur, she's quite open on track if
Mm-hmm.
it gets real hot, so she will push them a little bit. So I'm trying to see how that plays into the pack right now. But there are several people. I have a few buddies out in like Carolina that actually they just use a mixed pack of like a full elk hound, full cur dogs, and they seem to have a lot of success.
I got you. Yeah, I was just really curious about how that would work. I didn't know that they had that much stopping power. That's something new.
So me neither. Like I just thought they were squirrel dogs.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny because I started getting once I started talking to the guys over in Sweden, they would message me and be like, "Why do you guys use those dogs on squirrel? You're not even using them to their full effect." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they don't use them on squirrel like at all. To them, they're only for wild boar, moose, and bear. That's their specialty. Um, and yeah, I would say that's like the biggest separator for me because to me, where they really shine, because the curs have their benefit over the Lycas and the Lycas over the curs as well. Where they shine for me is when you're just one hunter, one dog, because if you have any kind of decent terrain, they're they're the quickest I've ever seen shut down a pig from jump to stop.
Mm.
Um, it's just they have so much speed, and he's and one of my Leica that was a squirrel dog that I did put on hogs. She was way softer, so she wasn't able to really hold them by herself.
Mhm.
But when I starting them from puppies on wild boar, then it's very rare that once they break, they get very far because they're so hard on that back end.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Got a little
So
more
it's been
confidence to them.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
liking this. I'm liking that. I like that. So how do they move into thick cover?
So that's where I was gonna say you have the curs got the advantage for sure. I feel like our cur dogs just threaten the thicket very good.
Okay.
Whereas my Lycas, it doesn't. Now, don't get me wrong, because I don't even have open woods at all here in South Louisiana. But if you get to some decent areas and in swampy areas, he does great because I mean, the one I have in my house right now, he's 27.5 inches to the shoulder and built super light, so he moves through the swamps phenomenally.
Mm-hmm.
But that the biggest issue I would say is the thickest, like cutover stuff like that, real thick briars. That's where that's where the cur dogs definitely have an advantage for sure.
Okay. That's because
Yeah.
we hunt a good bit of thickets and cutovers, and
Mhm.
like they're like our cur dogs. They do pretty good in it. They're not bad. I ran York Terriers for a long time. I still have some, but like I had a pack. That's all it was just York Terriers or York Terrier crosses, and like it didn't make a shit how thick it was. Like we were in there and they would get it stopped. And they
Yeah.
moved through it. But you had to have a whole pack too. You know what I mean? It's like had
Right.
a bunch of 25, 30-pound dogs out there, and those are actually pretty big. I had some that were in the high 30s, a couple of them that even pushed 40. But even at that rate, you have to have 2 or 3 dogs in there to really, because they were all running. They were really rough dogs.
Yeah.
If they had bayed, it probably would have been way better.
Right.
Most of those little terriers are crazy though, so you got to deal with that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there are times where in those thickets, because they're so the Laika, not only are they not barking on track, they're super silent. Like the way they maneuver, they got this like nimbleness to them,
yeah,
sort of. So there are times where they just pop up on the wild boar so unexpectedly for the pig itself that even in those thickets it'll just sit there, it'll sit from when it's found. So I have seen that, but I'd say majority of the time, if we were hunting a place that was majority like cut over or something like that, we would take the cur dogs.
I got you.
Yeah.
That I just what would you add to that breed if you could? Say if you could add anything to it, what do you think would benefit most from?
It's really hard because I think about this a lot. I'd say because I do think the only weakness is in the thick areas.
Yeah.
So I would like kind of a shorter dog that could move through it, but also that would take away from my swampy areas where I'm benefiting from their long legs,
Yeah.
So
it's
I kind
tit
of
for tat. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm kind of more like I basically have to just have the double pack like this, and just hunt circumstantially. Because I can't see anything for me. What draws me to hog hunting in general, as much as I do enjoy catching pigs, I love watching a dog bay. Like that's what's got for me. It doesn't matter what it is. I just like watching a good bay. So there's nothing really I feel like I would add uh, without losing what they have. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
That's
And then on the other side of the spectrum, our cur dogs are super rough, like you were saying. They're pretty much, if it's 200 pounds, they're going to try to catch it.
yeah.
So
I like that.
I do get to have both. The best of both worlds.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Like I said, we've done that for years ourselves. We keep rough dogs, and when I say rough dogs, it's just like it's what you're talking about. If they're by themselves, they're gonna try to hang a 200 pounder or better. If it's 2 or 3 of them, they're definitely gonna catch whatever. They don't care.
Right.
If all of them are baying, like you better get a gun. You better get something. Like something's wrong.
It's gonna be a lot of pig.
Yeah, it gets pretty. Every now and then, like we got one dog named Pepper, and he'll like if he had bay dogs in there baying,
he's gonna go in there and bay a little bit.
Yeah, if he makes it there before his part, because usually we kick them out 2 at a time on the run and catch dogs. Yeah. We turn 2 running catch dogs loose. If he makes it there first, you'll hear him bark a few times.
He'll size him up.
Yeah, and then as soon as the other one, but now he catches by himself too, though. But like he's going to size him up, but he's going to figure out how to hit him.
He'll like lean up. I've watched him like in the bluffs, and he like lean up and like almost jump to like get some better leverage on
it. He's smart, I mean, when he catches, he's caught though.
Yeah, once he hangs him, he's hung. Now, if it's a little pig, he ain't checking up. But if it's big
No,
pig, he's
yeah.
like, oh, let's see what this is about. But,
Yeah, now when we say
Right,
big,
right.
like, it's
But
going to
knock
be
on-
over 200.
but knock on wood, he ain't
Right.
got cut up yet. He's
No.
gotten a few little nicks or pokes.
Yeah, he's
Come
good
on.
about not getting all shit wrecked
Yeah, so
to be a damn.
it's been
catch dog.
efficient so far.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how that happens because we have a male whiskey and our blackmouth is Daisy, and she seems to always get cut up, but whiskey's definitely the one that's far grittier.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I don't know how that's happening, but
Some of them just know how to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
they put themselves in the right position, to not get hurt. I guess that's the only thing I can think of. I've watched dogs over the years go in there and have 5 or 6 dogs just caught everywhere.
Mhm.
And then there'll be one dog that probably caught behind the head somewhere and he's cut. I'm like, how in the hell did you
Right,
get
right.
cut?
Yeah.
You don't even know how you
Yeah.
got cut. So, but on the
Yeah.
on the hog hunt, so like, how long have you been running hog dogs?
So, like I said, I've been running with buddies for, I guess, since I was like 15,
Okay.
but since 2019 is when I made like the full switch from no more treeing dogs. Like, maybe the adrenaline rush I've gotten from killing these pigs has kind of eliminated all the. I still like a tree dog, but it's just different.
It's different. Yeah.
I don't get that excitement, that thrill, and especially when you're by yourself, there's something to it. I guess it's that risk you want to say. But yeah, I mean, walking up to a bay and you don't know what's bayed up, sneaking in and to find a good shot, that's got me hooked.
Oh,
So I guess about 6 years now.
I got you.
But yeah, but I mean, prior to that, I was just every chance I got, I would go hog hunt with some of my other buddies, like
Mhm.
my buddy David.
So is that when you
But,
switched to the Laika as a hog dog? Because you said you had one squirrel dog, right?
Yeah, and just by her baying by herself,
Mhm.
and it wasn't that. I think when she was baying by herself, in my mind, I was still like, I'm going to give me a good bay dog,
Yeah.
this is fun. But once I started doing my homework and talking to these guys in Scandinavia and them not minding teaching me everything they know, is like, I don't want to say we are because we're definitely not using them wrong, but it almost felt like we were using them like it's wrong. We're not to their full potential,
Yeah.
So when I was able to see, so you may, like I said, you may lose some in some thickets, but also you'll stop some that you never thought you could stop in a wide open spot of woods,
Mhm.
This is the first time I've ever really got to watch dogs bay in woods where you can see. Typically, at least with our cur dogs, or the ones I was hunting before, when they're bayed up, it's typically in the thickest, nastiest stuff. So I guess they were kind of stopping them more on that pig's terms.
Mhm.
So yeah, it just kind of had me hooked from there.
I got you.
We'll be back after a quick break.
And now, thanks to the sponsors and friends of Dixie Doggers. Animal Housing Solutions.
Boars and Broads.
Crockett Taxidermy.
Hardcore Hog Dogs.
Southern Cross Cut Gear.
Ada Y Transport.
4L Kennels.
The American Doghorn Museum.
Unique Hounding Hunting Supply.
Hogbaying.com.
Tuskers Magazine.
Mud Creek Hog Dog Trials.
So is that how you met Eric?
Yeah, we were actually, yeah, I think you had him on your, Ben Sheets, Tree Talking Media.
Yes.
We were both on there at separate times, and from there, after my episode, I talked to a couple of my Laika buddies, and my idea was to start a podcast kind of more focused on Laikas because we really don't have any, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I pitched it, Eric reached out to me and he was like, he was interested in the same thing. So we kind of like, well, look, I have two kids and full-time job, and my time is stretched thin as it is. So having a co-host is actually super helpful, Um, and when he decided to join, and him being in Sweden, we went from making it a Laika podcast to just more. It's now turned into more of how people are using wild boar dogs just all over the world.
Yeah.
We just we talk to people in Australia, Norway, Sweden, America, everything, just to see those key differences.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened with us. We started out as pretty much just information to people who were starting, and it went in from that to where we talked to a couple of folks, and then it's what we do. And
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily have to be just hog dogs. It's just people who hunt with dogs.
Yeah.
And it grows, and there's so many. Like I've been doing this a long time as far as hunting with dogs, but I was like, man, in certain areas, the population of dog hunters is so concentrated, it's ridiculous. And then there's other areas where nobody has hunting dogs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I would never live there. I don't want to live there.
Right.
Like we went to a couple of places the past year. Like you're not going to see anything but pickup trucks with dog boxes in them. And then we've been to other places where we're like, does anybody have a dog box here? It's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a big population, and it's kind of scattered, I guess you would say, as a whole. And so being able to talk to so many different people with so many different types of dogs and breeds of dogs, it's really been a good thing for us. I really enjoy it. I learned something just about every podcast. Every time we talk to somebody, I get to learn something.
Oh yeah, that's been, I feel like, my biggest takeaway so far. I mean, as much as like motivation we have to keep pushing it out, it's more like I'm just as intrigued myself just to hear from these guys, just to learn their ways, and can I adopt any of it, or is it just kind of something that you can do in that region, right? Because the whole Laika thing was really kind of an experiment, right? And it just ended up working out for me super well. But yeah, man, like you said, stylistically, the different ways people hunt, like in New Zealand, they got they put a lot of the sight hounds in their dogs, like the whippet crosses and stuff like that. And they hunt super close. They stay super close to you until they hit a track,
Yep.
Whereas, I kind of want a dog to go. And in Sweden, it's kind of, they expect even a Laika to just take a 18-hour track and go until they find it. They don't really do much walking, I'd say. I mean, they walk 100%, but they don't walk hunt, if you know what I mean. It's mostly casting.
Know exactly what you mean.
So it's been super, super educational for sure.
So that's a good thing right there to talk about on the Laikas, like the casting. As from your experience and what you know, and from the guys you've talked to, do you feel like these are more of a cast type dog, or do these work better for walk hunting, or per se, rig hunt or road hunt, or do you know anybody that's tried that?
So from my personal experience and just close friends that I know, they're probably the most moldable dogs I've ever seen, because I think by nature, they're not really a cast dog. But we actually had a guy on the podcast last night that kind of told us his techniques of how he gets his dogs to cast over there. And so he kind of just molds that within these Laikas, whereas I think the Laikas do better, or not necessarily better, but beneficial for me, is to walk hunt with me, make about 500-yard circles or something like that, especially in my terrain. I just don't, I have limited spots, and I want to keep them from going to certain areas, and so if they go a mile the wrong way, I'm kind of screwed. But
yeah,
and
I know exactly what you mean, bud.
And also, something I personally never thought you could accomplish with a Leica because they are like super tight mouthed. Like whenever they will not open up until the pig is actually looking at them. They could see it, chase it. But when that pig's turned around facing them, that's when they're barking every breath, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I have a buddy that just coon hunts with him, my buddy Darren Petty out in Indiana. Well, he was getting taught by this guy who strictly rig hunts them on coon, which I never thought you could get them to rig hunt off a scent. You know, I just think you could get them to bark off a scent, period. But he was somehow able to accomplish that as well. But yeah, I'd say the most natural way they hunt is to walk hunt with you. I don't know if you guys know Alex Khrushchev that bear hunts with them.
I know who he is. I don't know him. You know.
No.
Okay.
Know of him. Yeah.
Yeah. So he does pretty much the same thing as me, where his dogs just make a few 100-yard circles around them. As soon as they hit a track, then they're gone. They'll take the track to however far they need. You know.
Mm-hmm. And see, I don't mind dogs like that. That's what a lot of our dogs are. My old packs, that's definitely what they were. They would pretty much what you said, 500-600-yard circles.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't walk on up, most of the time I'd say I'd take that back. They were 600 to 800 yards, and like I would drop the dogs. They would go up ahead of us and hunt in big loops, and they would basically hunt their way back to us, and they would get to where they could see us, and then they would take off again. And we would just walk on up, you know, we would just continue walking. We wouldn't walk in the whole time, of course. We'd stop and let them hunt. And it worked really well. But if they hit a track, they would go miles. They would go however far. All we did was we set the range on the dog as young dogs. You hear people talk about dogs, you know, not wanting to cast or not doing this or doing that. A lot of that's not the dog. A lot of that's the person, because they're setting their dog's range by not letting it do that when it's a pup, when it's young, and when it first starts. But you could take a dog like you're talking about and put it in good country that has a good population of hogs, and you'll catch all the damn hogs you can handle.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to cast 5 miles. You know,
yep.
I feel like some of those dogs will run past hogs, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought, because as you all know, these hogs sit so tight, and they've been sitting there for a while. Yeah, they're not putting off much scent, you know.
No.
So I really want that GPS to look like a kid just took a crayon and just drew all over it.
Yes, sir.
You know, so I don't mind them being within 500 yards if they're just busy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, just like you said, like when he comes check back, he'll look at me, then he'll go hunt the opposite direction, you know. And so it just feels good, especially being by yourself, with that you're covering all this ground. I don't have to go walk and check this area, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's all getting checked. But something like you were saying with the casting, like the last couple episodes, we've been kind of focused on that. A lot of it, I'm starting to believe, has a lot to do with the laws over there in Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't have a dog off leash, period, outside of the hunting season.
Wow.
So like 0%. So there's no, but they do have like training pins that they can use, but it's nothing they do often. So there's really no training in off season. So I kind of think the casting kind of comes quite naturally, because it's like, I mean, once they're off leash, they know there's only one thing they do, right? And that's to go find the game. So, and they keep them inside the house. Don't get me wrong. All their dogs, they look at them as like their pets, which is kind of how I have my dog now. But again, it's just like once they're in the woods, there's just one goal. So I think that makes it a lot easier to make a casting type Laika, even if it goes against how they naturally hunt, I would say.
Yeah.
Because I mean, with my Laika, I can go around the house and have him off leash the whole time. And I live in a neighborhood, and he'll just stay around the house. But I mean, when he's in the woods, he knows what he's doing. You know, he can flip that switch.
What about their temperament?
Oh, they're like super family dog. So they do have funny ways when it comes to strangers or strange dogs, and it's really a lot of people blame the Laikas that have the squirrel dogs now, but it kind of I guess how they naturally are. If you just take a dog and you just throw them in the kennel, you know what I mean?
Mm.
But however you socialize them is how they're going to be. Uh, if whoever you plan on hunting them with, you hunt them with them, and they'll hunt better with those dogs.
Gotcha.
But I was so focused on making Kylo, the one I have now, he's 2.5 years old now. I was so focused on him making him a one man show that I've never shown him another dog. And so when me and Dom sometimes we'll take the curs and I'll take him and we'll split up. Incidentally, sometimes they'll come together. And every time they have come together, Kylo won't bark while he's baying. He's like, "What the hell is going on?" Why are there other dogs here?
Yeah.
But the other little female I'm telling you about, she sounds off with the other dogs, takes off with them. She goes to the barks, everything.
I got you. That's pretty cool.
So I just think it's kind of moldable.
Yeah,
for sure.
which I mean, there's a lot of I think there's a lot of breeds like that people don't. That's I feel like that's something that's not talked about enough in hunting dogs, especially hog dogs, because face it, the dog, all our hunting dogs for hogs, they need to have an aggressiveness to them, a certain aggressiveness, even if it's a loose bay dog. It's got to be able to go in there and face off with a pissed off 300-pound boar hog,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got to want to do that because we can't make it do it. It's got to want to do that. So being able to have that temperament, to me, is one of the most important things. A good temperament. A dog can have a quirk.
Yeah.
They can have quirks, and I'll allow a lot of stuff. You can allow a dog that wants to be an ass sometimes, if the good outweighs the bad.
Yeah.
If you've got a dog, we was talking to John last night. He said he's got an old female. She will not load up. She will not jump on the tailgate.
She ain't getting off the ground.
She ain't jumping. But it's the best hog dog he's ever had. He said, so I pick her up. I said,
right.
I'm the same way. That's an allowance. You allow that part. But the dog aggressiveness, I can allow that to a certain extent for certain things. I don't deal with it very much. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking about somebody who come from like 4 generations of game dogs. Fourth generation person, not just 4th generation of game dog, but 4th generation. That's all we've ever done. But even at those, like when they weren't at work, they didn't need to be aggressive and acting crazy on the chain.
Right.
And they need to get along as well as they could with other dogs. There's a time to do it and a time not to do it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, people ask all the time when they come to the house, because like I said, he's my house dog, really. He hangs out with my kids, and he's just a big old. A lot of people ask, they're like, "Man, he hunts? He's friendly with all the dogs, everything. He doesn't have this typical Laika behavior."
You said he was 27 inches.
27.5 inches at the shoulder, which is far above the standard. It's pretty insane. I'll have to send you a picture.
Well, that's what I was thinking a while ago when you said that. I was sitting there thinking, I said, is he talking about the Laika or a damn Great Dane?
Yeah. So he's the standard is, I want to say 21 to 24 inches at the shoulder.
Yeah.
And most of them I've had, like my Laika Snow that I was telling you about, the squirrel dog. She was 35 pounds, I don't know, maybe 18 inches at the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So he's far bigger than both his parents, far bigger than any of his litter mates. So I don't know what happened to him, but it's definitely been beneficial in those swamps for sure.
Oh yes.
And he just bays up so fast. If he can get just any kind of running start on a pig, it's kind of over with. Now obviously you can't force a pig to stop without catching it.
Yeah.
But he'll use those teeth to influence it.
So when they're running track, I mean, are they drifting track? They keeping their head up? They winded?
100%.
Okay, that's what I'm
So
saying. Moving that fast,
I even tried to, when he was a pup, I worked like obsessively with him with hoof tracks and all that, just laying down tracks and working on him with the goal of him working older tracks, right? But you could come here and take a hide and drag it hundreds of yards and walk all over the place to put your scent everywhere. He'll come back the next day and he'll find that. But when we're hunting, it's like he don't do that. He just keeps his head in there and looks for the freshest sign, which is, I mean, that's what you want, but it almost makes all that training feel pointless.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean, because it's like you putting all this time in, and he's just like, "Look, dude, I'm just gonna take the easiest way and the quickest."
Yeah, you can kind of look at me like I'm stupid. Like, I mean, I could follow this track, but I'm sure there's a fresher one.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, just being a smart dog, I guess. Louis like that. Like Nate's got a Kimmer that's he is exactly what you just described. Shot a deer a while back, and we brought Louis up there, and for the first time, we seen him track.
Mm-hmm.
He stuck his nose in there each freaking step.
Yep.
It looked like a bloodhound. That's the only time we've ever seen. Then the next one, we're like, Louis, we need you to do the same thing. He throws his head up, he takes a shortcut. I'm like, dude, like this is all backwards. But he still got the job done and got it done quick.
Yeah. I mean, these Laikas are definitely they're winders. Interestingly enough, over there in Sweden, when they do blood tracking, because it's kind of for them, it's a law that if you're going to hunt, you have to have a blood tracking team within 2 hours that you can call to legally hunt anywhere. So a lot of them will use a team. They'll use like a Bavarian hound to follow the trail directly, and they'll take a Laika with them and keep it on the leash until they think they're close enough to the game, so the Laika could cut it short when they're close enough.
That's pretty wild, man. They got a lot of laws and different restrictions.
It's super strict. Some of it I find to be a hindrance, and some of it is like super beneficial to them making really, really good dogs.
Yeah.
They have a database, and every single person can track every single dog they have. In every whatever trials they win, because they have wild boar trials, moose trials, stuff like that. And so I do think it helps make better dogs, but it's like the on leash demand outside of season, that would be quite difficult for me, right? Like I don't think I could do that. I still do a lot of work with my dogs, even in the hottest part of the summer.
Yeah, we're saying that would be that'd be about out of the question for us. That's pretty wild.
Yeah,
we had a guy from Sweden come to one of the terrier trials in Tyler, Texas. It's been quite a few years ago, and he kind of laughed at a lot of the dogs. He thought some of them were soft. They like hard dogs too.
Yeah, right.
He likes hard dogs because Mr. Mills asked him. He said, "Well, who's your favorite dog today?" And he pointed at a little dog on the end. He was like, "That dog there." He said his name is Twitch. And it was like, he said he's the best dog here. And I was sitting over there, and I was kind of, because it was Nathan's dog. I was laughing. I was like, it's one of Nate's pups.
Okay.
Because we never said anything to him. I was like, I was like,
well, Twitch was a rough one.
Well, everybody was like, your dogs are too rough, man. They're just too rough. I was like, he seemed to think they were just right.
Yeah. So over there in Sweden, they're kind of more like, this breed should do this, and this breed should do this. There's no like gray area, They're like Laika's wind, Norwegian elkhounds follow a track. Terriers are obsessively angry.
Yeah, they take care of business.
Go into the hole. Yeah, and that's how it seems. That's how it seems to be over there. And if they don't follow any of those to a T, they're kind of scratching them off because you can never breed that dog.
Yeah.
So it's quite disciplined. I think it's been beneficial for them, but some of it is a little stressful.
Yeah.
I'd say.
You could see where it would, like a lot of the very strict stuff like that. You could see where it could make better dogs.
For sure.
But at the same time, it's just some of it would be a huge hindrance, and it's like but that's why we live here.
Yeah.
That's why we live here.
Yeah, I'm very happy with while you can see all the benefits, like you said, it also makes you appreciate the things that we have, the freedom in the world that we have. I mean, because since it's so black and white over there, like to me, a dog, for what you want out of a dog is very different from what I want out of a dog, so I think there are gray areas.
Yep.
And which is why I hunt all these breeds,
Yeah. So with when you do the Laikas and stuff, I mean, when you're hog hunting with your Laika, and you said you bay and shoot, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so and you're only using one dog at a time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just kind of curious about, like, because I know a lot of older guys that used to bay and shoot a lot, and that's the way they did even with the cur dog. It was one dog. And the reason I was even asking that, I just wanted to make sure I was on the same page as you, because to me it would be kind of tough to go in there and do that with more than one dog. You could probably do it with two, but I don't think any more than two.
Yeah, and I see a lot of same. I see a lot of videos of people doing that, like in the Ukraine and actually in Korea, which is kind of mind-boggling. But they use Laikas, but over there they use a bunch of Laikas and they shoot, and I've never felt comfortable with any of the shots that I've seen taken.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and the thing is with the Laikas, like, I think when you think of them as a bay dog, you think of like a loose bay dog. But honestly, Kylo, he's so, like, he's very close to being a run and catch dog. If you had any more pressure or any more confidence, he'd be a run and catch dog.
Yeah.
Like, he bays real tight.
If you paired him up with something, he would be catching you.
He's catching 100%. Like, so a lot of these Laikas are gritty, which is good, but at the same time they'll bite, but they don't have a hold,
Yeah.
So it wouldn't really be beneficial as a run and catch dog, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what they would do, I think, instinctually. I feel like they're real close to wolves. They get that peg mentality pretty quickly.
Gotcha. Now, that was something else I was going to ask you, was about how hard their bite was, but you already talked about that. I just, if you had about 3 or 4 of them, I'd like to go. I really would. I'd like to have like 3 or 4 of them just wide open on one about 200, about 225, 240 with some good teeth, and be in the open where I can see what's happening.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to make it happen, man. I know Eric's coming down. He plans on coming down, and we can always make it happen.
Well, yeah.
Just to show you, just so you can see.
We've got
just how they work,
Yeah, you could do that. We could bring like one of the German Hide Terriers or some odd breed that's just a straight hammer catch dog to throw in there.
Mm-hmm.
That way,
Purely European.
Yeah. We could really have a really diverse group of dogs.
Yeah.
A pretty diverse group of people too.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Pretty diverse, probably.
Yeah.
So what about their coat? Now, I know they got a long coat. I mean, do they shed? Is it soft?
Yeah.
Is it double coated? Is it brittle? Hard? What?
They seem to be adapting quite well. It's a softer coat, and they do shed. They shed twice a year. They shed their winter coat, summer coat, But, and this is something I suspected, because if you look at pictures from them over in Sweden or Russia versus the Laikas we have here, their hair is it's nowhere near the same. So Eric came down last year and hunted with Alex, and he said Alex's dog's winter coat is less than his dog's summer coat.
Wow.
Yeah, so I guess because I've been really tempted to import a Laika from Sweden, but that's kind of one of the things that I've been fighting with because I don't know if it's from them adapting over here from a puppy or is it from the breed since they've been bred over here for a while already. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like their coat is really like I can hunt him. I usually don't stop hunting him till like the end of April, and then I'll start hunting him again September, October. Um, and then in between that, I'll just use the cur dogs, you know, because it's definitely more than the cur dogs, but it doesn't really seem to affect them that much as I thought, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas I have a buddy with elk hounds, and their coat is like triple Malika's coat.
Oof.
And
all our dogs, every dog we had with long coats, they never got hot.
Yeah,
never got hot, never overheated. We would have cur dogs laying in the creek or in the ditch, bulldogs overheating, all this shit going on, and I'd have a draught over here or a draught cross or some type of a bird dog with long hair or long-haired Yog Terriers, and they're just cool as a cucumber.
Yeah. I don't really know the science behind that. I know I've seen one where I don't know if y'all seen that picture where the guy had trimmed his dog's coat. It was a long coat dog.
Yeah,
he was actually absorbing like a lot more heat when they used like a thermographic camera on him.
Yep.
So I don't know. But that's the same experiences I've had. I haven't had any trouble at all.
Yeah, any of the Hyde Terriers or Airedales, like I said, anything like that, they've always ran so much cooler. We've had several different crosses that we've done over the years that incorporated the Airedale or the draught, and it just, like I said, it just works.
Yeah,
you know, I don't know why.
Something we've been talking about often as well is like we're talking about stopping ability.
Mm-hmm.
So the benefit for me with the Laikas, and probably my favorite perk of them, is that back end bite. But oddly enough, in Sweden, Norway, it's kind of illegal. So, which I mean, a lot of them actually want that as well, but you're not technically supposed to be able to bite. So if you have a dog that bites to stop a wild boar, they'll put a muzzle on them and hunt them like that. And their thought is that their thought is that the dog's supposed to run in front of the boar and just like coax it into stopping, right? So I hear a lot of stories from them talking about, you know, how the boar break in and, you know, because they'll ask me and say, man, it seems like y'all boys over in America don't run as much, huh? I said, shit. That's exactly what I said.
No, we put the brakes on them, bud.
Yeah, that's what I was telling them. I said, man, you don't put no teeth on it, I'm not going to stop either. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I just think it's a big, so like you said, that's one where the laws, to me, that's a big one. That's like a huge hindrance, right?
Yeah, that would definitely be out of the question for me.
Now, there's some people, I won't say any name. There's some people, I won't say any names for sure, but they're just like, that's what they want and that's what they do, you know?
Yeah.
A couple of friends of mine over there. So, I mean, they obviously, some of them see the benefit for sure from it.
Oh yeah, I don't like here. I just don't see how you're going to stop some of them. I mean, I know some people that have dogs that they're not going to put teeth on a hog, but they're literally going to run this hog all day long and run it till it can't run anymore.
Yeah, which is usually ends up in a horrible place and
yes,
in a long, long day. that would be a huge drawback for me hunting by myself. I want the quickest, the fastest as I can possibly get.
Yep.
When I'm hunting by myself, I'm not trying to swim across 3 canals and go 5 miles until the pig decides to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I mean, sometimes that's the case, but if we can't avoid it, we try to, right?
Exactly. Sure. Like I used to hunt a lot by myself, and it kind of broke me in a few different times. Is like just shit like you're talking about. Dogs get out of pocket and they get a mile or two out, and I was like, well, that's not a big deal because I cover the ground. Well, I didn't say I covered a mile and a half, 2 miles, and by the time I get up there, maybe I got in too close and the hog broke. Or the hog just decided he wasn't staying, broke. Then they go another mile or two. Next thing you know, I'm 5 miles deep, and we're in a pretty rough terrain. And just getting back to the damn truck would just about kill you. Not including having to get your damn dogs and all that. Especially like you said, by yourself. We don't have a lot of access roads where we hunt.
Yes, same here in South Louisiana. I don't. I'm pretty much, if I'm not hunting an island where I can take a boat around all my other spots, whichever way I walk in, I got to walk out.
Yeah.
And so your dogs, y'all mostly do like run and catch dogs, or
I did.
Are you hunting the bay as well?
No, we really started concentrating more on a little bit looser bay dog. But for years, like when I started out, we had some bay dogs, and they were rougher. And then the hogs just got to where they would run all the time. Got tired of that shit, so we just kept getting rougher dogs. And pretty soon, all we had were run and catch dogs. Like they weren't going to bark, they weren't going to bay nothing. And
right.
I ran those for 8 to 10 years, and I rebuilt. I couldn't tell you how many packs of dogs, and it just got old. As soon as a dog was really going good, and about the time it was, really becoming a hog dog, well, it made its fate. It had to start over.
Right.
And so now it's like, well, and plus I'm just more patient, being able to just kind of sit back and, watch a dog run a hog, especially a hog that's been ran before. Watch him outsmart him. I enjoy doing that. I like listening to a good bay. I've always liked that, but in order to keep the properties that I had at the time, like we had to produce hogs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and also in the state of Alabama, you have to kill every hog.
Yeah.
Like it
okay.
You can't have a live hog, period. Used to, we could. And once they changed it to now, like we cannot have a live hog. Okay, the law states all feral swine should be killed upon capture. Well, if we go down there and those dogs are baying that hog, and say when we get up within 30 yards of it and we just holler at the dog and say, come on, and they go get in the truck, well, we didn't capture that hog, so we ain't got to kill it.
Right.
You see what you know what I mean? So that's not all of them do that, but there's a couple of them we can call out.
Yeah. Nah, that's nice.
We still have some run and catch dogs though. We still got some of them.
Yeah.
We go to a place where it's real thick, like we're talking about, like the cutovers and shit. If you want to go in there and shut a race down, you just dump a couple of them dudes on the ground. We're gonna catch whatever's in there.
Yeah.
They don't discriminate either.
No.
Trashy, I think we got to the point.
Bitches. Trashy. They'll catch any damn thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think with our two older ones, we have a couple of young dogs too, but our two older ones, we kind of, I say we, but mostly Dom got attached to them, right? So I prefer them to bay, but we like them, do what they do. It is what it is, kind of. I mean, there are times where Daisy's barking on tracks. I'm like, man, please shut this bitch up. Like, come on, bro. Like, we've been running this pig all day long.
Yeah, but, I know exactly what you mean. It's like, God almighty, stop this shit.
Yeah, like can, you want whiskey. It really only happens if they split up because whiskey, he's the one that's putting the brakes on them.
Yeah.
But like she's off by herself, you might as well let her go.
It usually happens to us when, like, if they're running a good boar hog, you can always tell because, like, they'll open a little. Some of ours will open just a little at the jump, and then they're quiet, and
Yeah, yeah.
they'll run that son of a bitch for however far, and then all of a sudden you'll hear one or two of them go to yipping, and I know right then I'm like, well, they either ran through some more hogs or the boar hog carried them through another sounder or something, and then the race turns into a show fest. and then if you get down in some thick shit, you got a 20-pound pig in there running in circles, and you got like 5 of the baddest hog dogs in the world down there chasing this damn pig in a circle. And I'm like, look, just dump old Pepper out. Pepper, go ahead and shut this shit down.
Yeah. That's where it could be
playing.
nice for sure.
Yeah.
Now look, that's something Malika does as well. So if it's a big boar, when he jumps it, you already know because he's got a super deep bay voice.
Yeah.
But when he jumps a big boar, he's like squeaking for the first 10 seconds.
Wow.
Oh
yeah.
And then he'll shut up till he got to stop. But same thing. The only time I've really had him where he struggles is with those pigs that are like just cocky enough to stand a little bit, but still unnerved to want to move. Because he'll shut them down. He'll keep stopping them, but it's almost like those medium-sized pigs where it's like a walking bay almost, where they'll run 10 yards, he'll stop them again, run 10 yards, stop them again. I'm like, shit, I'm never gonna catch up to him.
That's right.
So those will be the times he struggles. Other than that, I mean, if they're 60 pounds or under, he'll catch it. And if they're anything big, they'll usually stand for him.
So how far back does he stand and bay?
He's pretty tight.
Pretty tight.
It depends. I mean, I have videos of him. They had one. The only time I've really seen him back up, maybe like 5 feet or so, was after he got hit, and he didn't take a bad cut at all. He actually got cut on his nuts as he was running, and but he stood back maybe like 5-6 foot or something like that.
Okay.
But I mean, usually he'll try to get. I mean, if he can, he'll be nose to nose. So he's pretty tight. He'll get a little risky. That's why with him, if he had any more confidence, he'd try to catch.
He's going to be the catchy one. So
I think if his size influences that, probably.
Yeah, I sounds like a pretty. Even if he's not real big, he's leggy for sure.
Yeah, because he's like 60, 65 pounds when he's heavy.
Okay.
So he's kind of like a light build,
Yeah. So have you ever carried him to any of the bay pen competition stuff or?
I'd be interested in it, but there's certain things like, which he seems to be as he's getting older. Like say he's 2.5, and this is his second kill year. That I'm not super versed on the rules, but I know like they can't look back at you, right?
Yeah.
But one of the things he does, which this year he seemed to not do at all, but one of the things he has done in the past was like he'll look back because he knows I'm coming to shoot this pig.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of in a way training him to do that unintentionally.
Yeah. Well, that's like most
so
of them going to look for the catch dog, or something.
Yeah.
They're looking back for help. Now we have the Woods Dog event coming up in Oklahoma at the Mud Creek Bay, and so the rules are a little different there. It's more for dogs like that. Like you don't get Doc right off the bat, just because he turned his head. We're gonna give him a couple of times.
And I think I remember hearing about this. When was the date for this?
February the 9th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it was. So I was like, when I heard about it, I was like, this is intriguing. I would like to bring a Laika, do something like that. But currently, I'm working a turnaround here at the plant, and I'm stuck till February 21st.
I got you.
Dang.
The reason I was able to have some free time today is the snowstorm. We got stuck in for 2 days.
How much snow did y'all wind up with down there?
Like 12 and a half inches here by my house.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
And where?
something I've never seen.
Where at
before.
in Louisiana?
So I'm pretty much close to Baton Rouge.
Oh my god, that's just so
Yeah.
wild. There's never been that much snow ever. Like in order for so listeners can understand, okay? Because there's listeners in other countries that we have as well. Okay, so Louisiana got about 12 inches of snow where Adam lives at. That means they got the same amount of snow in one day that they got in the past decade or longer or 20 years.
Mobile, Alabama hasn't had that much snow since 1895.
Yeah. Well, I seen the thing.
So I don't know about Louisiana, but I do know.
Well, I was
Mobile.
watching the thing on the Weather Channel or the news or some shit that I heard. It was this morning. And they were talking about in Baton Rouge that they had never had that much at one time, ever.
No, we had a pretty heavy snow in 2017.
2.75 inches was the most that they had ever had that accumulated. I was like, that's wild.
Yeah.
And there was another place in Milton, Florida that was like 9 inches. And I think it was about the same thing. Like they'd only had a couple of inches as most they'd ever had. I was like, I bet that's pretty wild. I bet those kids down there are having a damn ball.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah, they had fun. This goddamn Laika didn't want to come inside.
Oh, yeah, I bet this was having fun with it.
Yeah, he was.
He's like,
yeah, it's crazy.
Good, cool weather.
Yeah, got me hunting these damn swamps.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if that Laika gets swamp ass. See, these are the things that I think of. You know what I'm saying? There's some people that they think that I'm like I know about dogs and all this stuff. I don't. I'm just thinking if this dog gets swamp ass, like that's what goes through my mind. Have you ever seen a dog come out of? Have you ever seen him come out of the swamp and kind of walking like a little bow legged? I've seen my dogs do that shit. I got one named Charlie. He don't want to get his nuts wet.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen it.
When Eminem was a puppy, when he was probably about 7-8 months old, one time he started licking his nuts and he wouldn't quit, and he licked them raw, and like he was freaking out about it. He was just like running around the house whining, and I was like, "What's wrong?" And then he just like start licking his nuts ferociously, and then he'd like start running like something was chasing him. And I held him down, and I looked, and his nuts were just like red and raw. So I held him down, put some Neosporin on him. I was like, "That's all I could do for you, brother."
That's probably what happened to Rodney.
Yeah,
that's what's wrong with Rodney.
It probably is.
Rodney kept rubbing.
Yeah, I was trying to. That's like that boar I was just telling y'all about that hit him. After I killed it, I heard him scream, so I knew he got hit. I couldn't find it anywhere. And I got home, I was bathing him because I keep him inside. And I was like, look at this shit. Gash on your nuts. Like,
damn.
Yeah.
I would have hollered.
I mean, he was already it was fine. Yeah, he was all right.
Who got hit on the nut? We've had Hank got cut on right on the root, right on the wiener.
Ooh.
Remember I think he got cut on it a couple of times. Hank did. When King got cut down,
he got cut beside his wiener.
That's what I said. He got cut right. I mean, like right beside it.
Yeah,
I think he's got cut there a couple of times. So that's another one of those hybrid crosses that we were doing, and like we had a couple of them we would put down on the ground. If we had a hog that would break, like all they got was one chance. If the bay dogs went down there and bayed and he broke one time, fuck it, like we're dumping them. And
okay.
We had the dogs to do it with. In all honesty, it was unorthodox, and there's a lot of people that be like, "Dude, I'm never sending my dog 600 yards to catch," but we did, and we caught a lot.
I mean,
but that's what they were made for. Like literally, you're talking 10 solid years of a breeding program to make a dog like this.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, there's no difference from that. And, you have a run and catch dog that's going to do the same thing, except to be quite honest, the one you're sending in is a lot fresher than a dog that's been running a hog.
Yep.
So
what we would do,
I see no issue with that.
Yeah. So like, say you get on a good boar hog and you've run him for a while and he's fixing to come out of this block of woods and cross the road. Well, we could go up there and say the hog made it across the road, and your bay dogs are running the shit out of him. We could go right where he crossed the road, 30 minutes after he crossed, and I could take and put King and Charlie and Hank on that track, and they would run that track and run down the bay dogs, and then run down the hog and catch him.
Yeah, I like that.
And now like I said, they were going to be caught when you got there, but at the same time, like I said, these dogs they were designed for it. And I've had people, some people, they wanted to come see it. They were like, I just got to see this. And like, okay, well, you can see it all you want, And,
right.
And we showed them a lot. I mean, these dudes catch big hogs. But when you think of catch dog or running catch dog, most people are thinking of pit bull or American bulldog or, of something like that.
Yeah.
These had zero. Like there was nothing in their bloodline like that. They're Airedale, Jag, little bull terrier, and some of them had a little draught and bird in them. They were hard mouth dogs. They had a lot of stamina. That was the main thing that they had to have was a good bite and tons of stamina.
Yeah. Yeah. I could definitely see that. Yeah. So you guys kind of like not breed specific at all?
Do what now?
I said you guys are kind of not breed specific at all?
I'm a mutt enthusiast.
Yeah, I'm not.
I hear you.
I used to be at one time, and then like we had did some crosses, some of the guys I was hunting with, and we got to see what real dogs were then. I was like, holy smokes.
Nah, yeah, I'm with you there. We have a young half Laika, half Catahoula right now.
Oh man,
it's out of I'm really excited to see how she does because I like her build. She's about 40 pounds, 35, 40 pounds, and a little lower to the ground than mine. And I'm talking about,
dude,
she looks like she's going to be fast.
Well, that's what that was another question I was going to ask you was, have you ever thought about crossing them or doing some F1s? I think
she's going to be my test subject for that. I feel, because if she works out, then maybe direction I go. I don't want to say for sure, but as far as physicality and like her, all the natural attributes, because she still has all the Laika traits to her so far.
Yeah.
But that coat, she's pretty much has the Catahoula coat, to be honest with you.
Gotcha.
Pretty little dog.
Yeah, I'm all about the crosses,
Yeah, you look at, like we talk about those guys in like Australia. My buddy I had on the podcast, he uses nothing but crosses, and it's every cross is like kind of intended to have a back end bite with some herding in it, with particularly baying,
Well, and we've talked to some other people. Like I wound up getting a wolfhound, and I got it for a reason, We've got some dogs that are kind of like you were talking about earlier. They got a little whippet in them, a little bit of greyhound. We've got some that, they're bird crosses. And most of the time our bird dog that we use is the draught. I don't like them as a pure-blooded dog, as a full-blooded dog, a pure breed. I've had several, and I just don't care for them. They're not what I like. It doesn't mean they're not good dogs. They're just not what I like. But when we cross them over something, they are freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I really like them. We've got one out there named Pepper. He, you can kick him out. He'll do whatever you need to do.
Yep.
He's a hog dog. And you can road hunt him. You can ride him around on the box. He don't bark a whole lot, but we were in Georgia and there was 7 or 8 other dogs, they were hound and cur crosses. They were all out there trying to find a hog. Shit, Pepper throws the nose up, wins it, goes over, has the hog caught before they even hit the track.
Yeah.
That's what Carter, he was like. He said, you need to let me have that dog. I was like, well, I said, I kind of need him a little bit because he, it's the only one I got worth of shit. But now he's rough. Of course, he's mostly all catch. He's the one we was talking about
Are
a
you
while ago that will actually evaluate the situation.
okay? Okay, right, right. Are you guys hunting the wolfhound?
Yeah. I'm going to tell
Okay.
you, I got him because he was like, I talked to Dean Ross, which I mean, I had him before that, but I'd watched some of the stuff Dean Ross had, and I'd seen so much about these wolfhounds. I talked to Will Booth and 2 or 3 other guys that had some crosses. I was like, man, I really like this.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I turned that son of a bitch loose, he went 1.21 miles and caught his own pig. He had never seen a pig ever.
God.
I was like, what is going on? I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. What's happening? This bastard
So
takes off and goes to another county. I'm like, what is he doing? I thought he was just running, Oh yeah, he was
Right, right.
finding hogs. Or, they got in a group of
That's
shows,
awesome.
but I was like, this is going to work. That dog
Right.
hunts so damn hard.
It's just a lot of dog.
Yeah, he's 125 pounds.
Go.
Oh, he's a like
Good
he's a
Lord.
fucking monster.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
wanted to cross him to like a Airedale, big old Airedale bitch, or a good sized bull terrier. But we've got a dog named Silky. Silky she's part. Let me try to get it right. She's part Whippet, Greyhound, Saluki, and Pit. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I think a lot of running dog in there.
Yeah, yeah. Should have speed.
Yeah, so I was thinking, put the wolfhound to that and see if we can come out with a medium sized dog.
Right, right.
Like say a 70 pounder, basically like the size of a Great Dane, but muscle, like a bull lurcher, but
Yeah.
my own kind of twist on it, I guess, or whatever. But then I really like crossing Airedales. I love it.
Okay. What do you think they throw in that you like the most?
The Airedale,
Yeah.
but their bones and their bite, their teeth.
Okay.
Also, real smart
yeah.
dogs.
Absolutely. Like Nate said, the intelligence level is amazing. They're calm. Bro, they're terrier, but they're so calm. Like they don't act crazy. None of ours have anyway. And we've had quite a few of them over the years. And then,
yeah, man.
But you got to be careful because, like, for everything that you think that you're adding, you're taking something away.
Yeah, that's something I've always been kind of
There's only so many genes
worried about.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to add, and this is just me, I don't even know what I'm doing half the time. But like, say if I take this wolfhound and I cross it to an Airedale female. So what I'm expecting is to get most of my female's traits is what I want. So I'm going to look more at my female than I am my male. That's just me, which I want both dogs to be proven. I want both dogs to be able to do what I want them to do, or I'm not going to breed them. Well,
right.
Out of that female, I'm probably going to get a lot of the coat because I like a rougher coated Airedale. I don't like, there's some of the smooth coat Airedales or smoother coat. I don't like those. I like the Airedales that are on the bigger size. So I'm going to be looking for thick front legs, and they're going to have a deep chest. They're going to have a wide muzzle. All right. So on the wolfhound, on this male, what I'm expecting to lose will be some of the size, some of the length of the muzzle, and probably going to lose some of that depth on his chest. But because the female, she has a good chest on her, the stamina is what I'm getting at. It should work out. But that's the thing about it. It should. I don't know if it will until we do it. And then I won't know for another 2 years until the puppies are up and they're grown.
Oh, yeah. It's all a process.
Yes, Lord. It's aggravating sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, like, with what you're saying, I'm all about a good bay dog. That's really what I want. But the only thing that did make me kind of want to try something else was when I seen Dean's wolfhounds.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My biggest concern was like the thick woods. I
Yeah.
don't know because I just don't know how they would move in it with their size, but they are badass dogs.
Harry moves pretty good.
Mhm.
He cannot move as well as some of the other dogs that we have. And
Yeah,
that's just the long and the short of it. I don't, I hunt a different area and a different terrain than what Dean does. And
yeah,
like I said, so the taller dog, like I've seen, and I know Dean gets in a lot of thick stuff, but at the same time, there in 20 years of doing this, there's been 2 times that I've caught a hog that was not covered up in the brush. Only 2
right,
times that where I've ever been in the open. 2 times. One time was in the
right,
middle of
right.
the woods in a little green field, and the other time was in a pasture. And that's been in the last 2 years. Other than
Right.
that, where we catch them, it's in caves, it's in bluffs, it's on the top of a mountain, in the bottom of a mountain.
Briar Patch Swamp.
It's in the worst briars, overhead high. You got to crawl.
Yeah.
So that's one
Yeah.
reason. Like I said, the wolfhound. But dude, when he catches, that son of a bitch has got control. That's one thing I
Yeah.
will say.
Yeah.
He has got total control. If the hog is 200 pounds, it don't matter. Over here, he's gonna hold him.
Right.
Don't even
They
matter.
don't seem. It seems like if you put one of those bibs on them, they don't hardly take any
No,
cuts.
no.
You know.
Yeah, it's the way that they catch. Dean says that they catch on the dog's terms, not the hog's terms, and that's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. I think that's a big. That's important.
Yes, and
Yeah.
like I said, now I love the size of the dogs, and honestly, if the terrain was different, that's probably what I would be running all the time. But at the same time, when you get outran, you got to have something that can hang in there and get into thicker areas. So that's why I'm wanting to get something that's, like I said, Harry's 120, 125. I'm telling you, he's a beast. And so it's like, if I got something down around 80 or 85, see how that would work. Hell, even 100 pounds, that's another 20, 25 pounds lighter. And if I got him a couple inches shorter,
Yeah.
I don't know how tall he is. I've never measured him. Some bitch looks like he's 4 foot tall.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'd imagine.
Dude, he can put his front feet on my shoulder and his head's on top of my head. I'm 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
He's so big.
Yeah.
He's big. Like he can't, like a over the rail dog box, he can't stand up in it.
Right.
Like, I mean, legit, like a full size dog box, that bastard cannot stand up in it.
Yeah.
Oh, Harry has to ride on the outside, clipped up.
That's
But
cool, man. That's
he
cool.
moves so well to be that big, though. Like I said, I can't knock him by no means.
Yeah.
So whenever
Yeah, I think that.
when we do a cross, we'll send you one or something. We'll send you something.
Oh man, I
turn
appreciate
loose.
that. Hell yeah, I appreciate
It might
that.
not make it. You don't ever know. But
Oh, you never know. Never
Yeah.
know.
I like sending stuff out to people who are gonna test them, and they're not gonna be scared to make a decision. But the only thing I ever
Oh, yeah.
ask is make sure you give them enough time.
Yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
that's one thing with me. Like when it comes to getting a pup, I do dedicate a lot of time behind these puppies. You know what I mean? So, and I do like to get them out, even if I'm gonna hunt them with a pack. I do like to make sure they can do it by themselves.
Yep,
Just to prevent any sort of Me Too dog.
that's right.
But yeah, same deal, man. If you ever want some Laika in you to try out in there, just
Yeah, I
give
might
us
be
a
hollering
holler.
at you about that now because
Yeah. Have to keep us updated
'Cause I
on the
really-
Laika Catahoula.
I'm really, yeah, I was thinking to say, I'm really liking this. All I can see, though, in my mind is Pepper over one of the Laikas, or maybe with a half and half Laika dog. That
Yeah.
Pepper dog I was talking about, because I like as rough as he is, I just put something else to make it even just rougher. I was fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. But
Yeah, well, I mean that half we have is she's a female, and we have her mom as well. She's the one that we actually have that we're working in that pack.
cool. Yeah, that's gonna be definitely keep us updated on that. That's pretty damn
Yeah,
slick.
man, I'm really excited about it. Hopefully, maybe next time we talk, we'll have some stories for her.
Yeah, and look, y'all come to Alabama and hunt with us too.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I love that.
It's it's a little bit different terrain for the most part, but like there's certain places in the state that we have marsh down south. We got a lot of flooded river bottoms. Now that's what I like. I like to hunt river bottoms. Man, I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
But like catching the big boars in the hills and these mountains, that's where we catch them dudes at.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, like these Laikas, they do thrive probably. I'd say more of them thrive on the harder ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because especially if you don't get one that comes out to be 27.5 inches, like you're not supposed to be,
I think he would do good in these hills.
He probably would. I mean, he's so leggy, and I think I have some stuff I could send where just of him running. I have a video of him running a big old boar. You could just catch it, but I mean, the blur when he passes is just it's stupid,
Yeah, he ain't playing around.
No, his run to catch is insane.
I like
so
that.
It's yeah, man. Yeah,
I definitely like that. So, well, man, is there anything else you want to throw in on here? Talk about anything else?
I mean, I think we covered most of it.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I was just I did want to ask you guys what you guys think about. I've been following your YouTube channel, and I post on YouTube as well
YouTube
on the Bayou
sucks.
Outlaws.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was. That's
Did
where I
I
was going
say
with
that? No, it's true.
I'm 2 strikes in right now, and
Oh shit!
but it's like,
you're over with. It's over.
It's
over.
done. It's just it. It's not if, it's when.
They hit us. Nate can tell you about it. Like, tell him about when they got.
I mean, that was a few years ago, but all of our stuff was for babe pin videos.
Yeah.
Like
that's what I'm saying. When they hit us like all 3 at one time with it.
Yeah, we had gotten a strike one week, and then like I woke up one morning, and they gave us 2 strikes in one night and deleted the channel. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
It wasn't even like, hey guys. Yeah. It was like, fuck
bam,
off.
Bam.
It does suck. I mean, I want to move my stuff to Rumble, but obviously you don't have the audience, right? And the YouTube channel has like 127,000 views right now, so it's I lose out, but I know it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, do you have a Rumble account?
Yeah.
I was thinking to say, well, we've got one as well, but we hadn't really
put nothing
on there. So, but like we've had one for what, a year better.
Yeah, I believe so.
We've had one for a while, so I mean, it might get to where we start posting on there, but I don't know, man. It's so hard to do it because especially if you want to be monetized,
yeah,
you can't show shit.
No,
yeah,
you got to edit heavy.
Yeah,
it's just kind of hard to put the entertaining parts there,
yeah, without a doubt. That's what we've been dealing with for a while. Same thing. So we started. Nate's working on some videos right now for a Patreon account, and that way we can show the full scale of what's happening. We can show the real deal videos, and of course, it's a subscription thing. You pay a couple bucks a month, and you can watch the real deal thing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
So we because it's frustrating. Like,
oh yeah,
there's so many videos that we could post. I mean, literally hundreds. And we put one every now and then. And I've had people, they're like, dude, I know y'all catch way more hogs than that. I'm like, bro, if we posted every hog that we caught, you could have a video every single day, all year long, or a couple probably. We catch 200, 300 hogs every year.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, I mean, we're going to catch a couple hundred hogs pretty much every year. And we've been consistent with that for several years now.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we can't post what everybody wants to see.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's tough to leave that stuff out without becoming repetitive, you know?
Oh yeah, you can't be competitive. Like,
No.
Yeah.
Some of the videos that Nate's put up, to me, they're really good videos, but they don't show what everybody wants to see.
Yeah.
But
Right.
the reason that they have, some of them have 10, 15, 20,000 views on each video, it's because like they're quality videos. Could you imagine how many views it would have if it showed that, them dogs just hammering that, smoking that son of a bitch? Like,
oh, absolutely.
It would be crazy. Just can't do it, man.
Yeah.
Because once you get all that up there and then they just snatch your channel down, it's like getting kicked right in the nuts. Justin Becker, man, my heart goes out to Justin.
I know. That's
how many times?
I don't know how many times he's been deleted now.
Several.
We're talking about damn near 50,000 subscribers he had. That was
a couple times. Times.
Yeah.
And
that's super annoying, man.
Yeah. And it seems like once you get to a certain point, like, it's like, okay, now we're fixing to see some kind of return on this investment, They're like, nope, not doing it.
Yep. Shutting you down.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's one reason why we just concentrate on the podcast a lot more.
Like,
I mean, we don't get paid to do this, but at the same time, there's venues and avenues that we can use to start, accruing a little bit of income off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Sooner or later, so we'll just keep on picking at it.
Heck yeah.
So
I love what y'all are doing, man.
Hey, same
appreciate
thing.
it. We appreciate
you doing the same kind of stuff, man.
Yeah.
Y'all keep
y'all
it
doing
up.
Good.
Yes, I appreciate it, brother.
Y'all keep it up, and make sure. And look, whenever you talk, whenever you get on your podcast, next time y'all do one, just tell the world that you got to talk to me. That's all. That's it.
Yes, sir. Sir.
You'll be awesome then. You'll be more awesome. You're already awesome. You'll be more awesome, man.
Thank you. I'm definitely going to do that. I'm going to be certified.
Well, brother, man, we appreciate you. Taking time out of your day and doing this, man. This shit's fun. I enjoy getting to talk to people and getting to know people. And like I said, we'll definitely keep up with the crosses on them dogs, man. I'm really curious on that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I appreciate y'all.
All right. Well, bring them bastards up here and we'll go turn them loose.
Sure. Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Well, appreciate you, brother. Y'all be good. Until the next one. We'll see you, buddy.
Later.
All right. Later.
See ya.
Well, tenfold. Man, that's cool on them Laikas. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
So.
The Laikas are some cool dogs.
Yep.
Definitely, if he's already crossbreeding them in the curves, he's already got my thoughts. So,
I was thinking that the whole time. I was like, man, if that dude's already putting that much heat, but he's got the bay part down too, so, that'd be all right. And he's that fast. That'd be pretty cool. So, well, once again, there's another one in the books.
Yes,
we're gonna keep on pumping them out. We're gonna keep on putting them out. Trying to keep y'all a couple of weeks coming at you. Trying to just keep building on this thing. Grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. We don't want to get too big, though. Just big enough. Because it takes a lot to do this. So make sure that y'all like and subscribe all our stuff. Go to YouTube. Watch all those videos. Put them on there and just let them play over and over again. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even got to watch them. Just let them play over and over again. And then on the social media stuff, go over there and say, I even got we even got the TikTok going. So y'all can come see us on the TikTok. Nate's putting up a few videos. Fix start putting up some more stuff like that. And it will not be long until they have that old Patreon out there. When that thing comes out, y'all better be ready. I'm telling you. We just got to get some good footage so Nate can put us some videos out. And for $399 a month, you can watch them. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Y'all keep the hounds on the ground. Get your ass off the couch. Go run them. We'll see y'all.
Thank you. Hope y'all enjoyed that episode. Stay tuned for our new episodes every Monday and Wednesday. For questions, advertising, or just to chat, email DixieDoggers01@gmail.com.